What if I told you that every single desire you have ever had is already yours? Not in the future, not someday, but now, in a state waiting for you to enter it. There is a law operating in your life this very moment. It does not judge you. It does not delay you. It does not deny you. It simply reflects you. If your world feels stuck, it is not because life is against you. It is because you are harvesting yesterday's assumptions. You are not waiting for your wish to arrive. Your wish is waiting for you to become it. The world is not deciding your fate. Your identity is. Tonight, you will understand how to plant a seed in consciousness so powerful, so certain, that reality will have no choice but to mirror it. You will understand why some people struggle for years, while others shift one assumption and watch their entire world rearrange. This is not motivation. This is law. And once you understand it, you will never feel powerless again. There is only one creative power in your world, and it is not outside of you. It is not circumstances, not fate, not other people, not luck, not timing. The only cause behind every experience you have ever had is your own consciousness. This is the foundation upon which all transformation rests. Until this is understood, you will continue trying to rearrange shadows instead of changing the light that casts them. Consciousness is your awareness of being. It is the silent I am within you before you attach any description to it. The moment you say, I am successful, I am unlucky, I am loved, or I am forgotten, you are defining the state of consciousness you occupy. And that state must externalize itself. The world does not create your identity. It reveals it. Most people believe the outer world produces their feelings. They think circumstances cause emotions. But this is reversed. Your state of consciousness produces circumstances. What you consistently accept as true about yourself becomes the script life must follow. The outer world is nothing more than a mirror reflecting your inner assumptions. If you feel overlooked, you will encounter situations that confirm it. If you feel valued, life will arrange itself to validate that. It is not coincidence. It is law. The mirror has no choice but to reflect the face placed before it. This is why effort alone cannot change your life. Action taken from the same old identity only reproduces the same results. You cannot act your way into a new life while remaining the same person in consciousness. You must become inwardly what you desire to see outwardly. To understand that consciousness is the only cause is to reclaim your power. It means nothing outside of you has authority over your experience unless you grant it authority through belief. When something disturbs you, it is not the event itself that holds power. It is the meaning you have accepted about it. Change the meaning, and the experience changes. Consider this deeply before anything appears in your physical world. It first existed as a state within you. Every success was once a self-concept. Every failure was once an assumption. Every relationship was once an identity you carried. The unseen always precedes the seen. This is why imagination is not fantasy. It is the workshop of creation. When you imagine from a state repeatedly, when you feel the reality of it and accept it as natural, you are shifting your consciousness. And when consciousness shifts, the world must rearrange itself to match. Do not try to force the world to change. That is like trying to change the reflection without touching the mirror. Instead, change the one who is looking. Change your self-definition. Ask yourself honestly, who am I being? What version of myself am I identifying with daily? The confident one or the doubtful one? The chosen one or the rejected one? The prosperous one or the struggling one? Your answers reveal the cause behind your conditions. Once you accept that consciousness is the only cause, blame disappears. Fear begins to dissolve. You stop seeing life as happening to you and start realizing it is happening through you. Even challenges become opportunities to shift states rather than enemies to fight. This understanding demands responsibility, but it also gives freedom. If your world is a projection of your consciousness, then no condition is permanent. You are not stuck. You are simply identified, and identification can change in a moment. Close your eyes and feel yourself as you wish to be, not wishing to be it, but being it. Let the feeling become familiar. Let it become natural. As it becomes natural within, it must become visible without. There is no power outside of consciousness. There is no creative force separate from your awareness of being. The world is obedient to the state you occupy. Change the state, and the reflection will follow. The moment you desire something, you are not being asked to chase it. You are being invited to become it. The secret is not in wishing harder, praying longer, or working endlessly. The secret is in assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not hoping it will happen, but feeling as though it already has. Most people live in anticipation. They say, I will be happy when it comes. I will feel secure when it arrives. I will relax when it manifests. But this keeps the desire forever in the future. You cannot experience tomorrow emotionally and expect it to appear today. The law responds to present feeling, not future expectation. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled means you mentally and emotionally move into the state where your desire is already a fact. You do not ask, when will it happen? Instead, you ask, how would I feel right now if it were already done? That feeling is the creative act. If you desired financial freedom and it were already yours, would you feel anxious? No, you would feel relief, security, expansion, gratitude. If you desired love and it were already fulfilled, would you feel lonely? No, you would feel chosen, warm, appreciated, certain. The mistake is trying to force belief with words while feeling the opposite inside. Words without feeling are empty. It is feeling that impresses the deeper mind, and what is impressed must be expressed. This is why imagination is so powerful. When you close your eyes and create a short scene that implies your wish is already fulfilled, and you enter that scene as though it is happening now, you are generating the emotional signature of completion. You are planting the seed in consciousness. Do not watch yourself from a distance. Do not imagine it like a movie. Experience it in first person. Hear the voice congratulating you. Feel the ring on your finger. See the balance in your account. Touch the steering wheel of the car. Make it sensory. Make it real. Then allow the feeling to settle. When it feels natural, even slightly, you have shifted states. You are not required to maintain intense emotion all day. You are required to return to the knowing that it is done. The fulfilled feeling should become your baseline, not your peak. It should feel calm, stable, certain. The outer world may still show the old picture for a time, but that picture is yesterday's assumption. If you react emotionally to what you see, you return to the old state. Instead, remain loyal to the unseen reality you have accepted within. The fulfilled feeling is not excitement. It is completion. Think of something you already possess. You do not wake up excited about having it. You simply know it is yours. That quiet knowing is the frequency of manifestation. That is the state you must assume. This is not delusion. It is selection. You are choosing a state and dwelling in it until it hardens into fact. If doubt appears, do not fight it. Gently return to the fulfilled version of yourself. Ask again, how would I feel if it were already done? And step into that answer. Over time, the feeling becomes familiar. What was once imagination becomes identity. And identity inevitably shapes experience. You do not create by force. You create by assumption. Assume it is done. Feel the relief. Feel the gratitude. Feel the stability. Let that feeling define you more than the visible world does. Because when the inner feeling changes, the outer world has no choice but to follow. The wish is not fulfilled when you see it. It is fulfilled when you feel it. It is not enough to touch the new state once. It is not enough to feel the wish fulfilled for a single night and then return to the old self by morning. The seed is planted in a moment, but it grows through persistence. To change your life, you must persist in the new identity until it feels more natural than the old one. Identity is not what you occasionally think about yourself. It is what you consistently return to. It is the inner story you repeat when no one is watching. It is the quiet label you carry in daily reactions. If you imagine success at night, but complain about failure during the day, you are divided. And a divided consciousness cannot produce a stable harvest. Persistence is loyalty to your chosen state. When you decide who you are going to be, you must remain faithful to that version of yourself regardless of appearances. The outer world may not immediately reflect the shift. Old circumstances may still echo yesterday's identity, but these are shadows of a previous assumption. They are not evidence against your new state. They are simply fading reflections. Most people give up too soon. They assume the wish fulfilled, but the moment they see no physical proof, they abandon the new identity. They return to doubt. They return to fear. They return to the old self-concept. And in doing so, they replant the old seed. The law is consistent. It responds not to intensity, but to consistency. To persist in the new identity means you think from it, not of it. If you have assumed the identity of someone secure and confident, you must respond to life as that person would respond. If you have assumed the identity of someone loved, you must interpret events through that lens. If you have assumed the identity of someone successful, you must internally react as though success is normal for you. This does not mean forcing behavior. It means maintaining the inner conviction. When doubt arises, and it will, do not argue with it. Simply return to the state. Remind yourself quietly, this is who I am now. Feel it again. Enter the imaginal scene if necessary. Reinforce the identity until it becomes familiar. At first, the new state may feel unnatural. That is because you have practiced the old identity for years. You have rehearsed limitation. You have memorized struggle. But familiarity is not truth. It is repetition. And repetition can be changed. Every time you return to the new identity instead of the old one, you weaken the old pattern and strengthen the new one. Eventually, there comes a moment when the new state feels effortless. You no longer try to believe it. You simply are it. That is when the shift is complete. Persistence is not strain. It is steady remembrance. It is gently but firmly refusing to identify with the former self. It is understanding that your world is rearranging behind the scenes, even when you cannot see it. Think of a person who has always considered themselves unlucky. That belief colors every event. But if that same person decides, I am fortunate, things work in my favor, and persists in that identity long enough, their interpretations shift. Their reactions change. Their opportunities expand. Not because luck suddenly appeared, but because identity changed. Your world is molded by who you believe you are. So choose carefully, and once chosen, persist. Do not measure time. Do not demand proof. Do not consult appearances for validation. Remain inwardly faithful. The bridge of events will unfold naturally, leading you to the fulfillment of your assumption. You are not waiting for something to happen. You are stabilizing a new version of yourself. And when that version becomes your dominant identity, the world must mirror it. Persist, not in effort, but in being. Because what you persist in, you become. And what you become, you experience. The greatest test of faith in your inner power is the ability to ignore present appearances, not deny them, not fight them, but refuse to let them define you. What you see around you right now is not the truth of your potential. It is the echo of past assumptions. It is yesterday's consciousness made visible. If you react emotionally to what is currently in front of you, you continue the same pattern that produced it. The outer world is slow to change because it reflects what has already been impressed upon the deeper mind. But if you remain loyal to the unseen reality instead of the visible one, you interrupt the cycle. Most people live as servants to appearances. If the bank account looks low, they feel poor. If the message hasn't arrived, they feel rejected. If the opportunity hasn't shown up, they feel unsuccessful. In doing this, they unknowingly reaffirm the very state they wish to escape. The visible world is not a command. It is a report. It reports who you have been in consciousness, not who you are becoming. To ignore present appearances means you understand that reality is delayed imagination. The moment you shift within, the outer world has already begun to reorganize, even if you cannot see it yet. Just because the seed is underground does not mean it is inactive. When you plant a seed in the soil, you do not dig it up every day to check if it has grown. If you did, you would destroy it. Yet this is what many do with their desires. They assume the wish fulfilled, but then they constantly look to the outer world for confirmation. And when they do not see immediate evidence, they panic and return to doubt. Faith is not blind belief. It is understanding the law well enough to trust it. If you have truly assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled, then what you currently see has no authority over you. It may still be visible, but it is powerless. It is fading. It is the final chapter of an old identity that no longer belongs to you. This requires discipline of attention. When something appears that contradicts your desired state, pause. Do not react automatically. Instead, remind yourself, this is the old story. Then return inwardly to the version of yourself who already has what you desire. Feel from that place again. Think from that place again. You are not ignoring reality. You are choosing which reality to energize. Attention is creative. What you give emotional energy to, you sustain. If you constantly discuss problems, analyze obstacles, and replay negative events, you are watering the wrong seed. But if you shift your focus to the fulfilled state, you nourish the new harvest. Appearances are temporary. States are permanent until changed. If you change the state but keep bowing to appearances, you delay the manifestation. But if you change the state and remain unmoved by appearances, you accelerate the transformation. There will be moments when circumstances seem louder than your inner knowing. In those moments, remember, the world has always followed consciousness. It has never led it. You are not meant to be hypnotized by what you see. You are meant to recognize it as a reflection. Close your eyes and remind yourself of the unseen truth. Feel the certainty of it. Let that certainty become stronger than your senses. Over time, the senses will align with the inner conviction. The outer world is not your master. It is your mirror, and a mirror can only reflect what stands before it. Stand as the fulfilled version of yourself, even if nothing around you agrees yet. Persist in that unseen identity. Remain calm. Remain certain. Remain unmoved. The appearance will change. It must. Because once the inner state is altered and sustained, the outer world has no choice but to conform. Ignore what is temporary. Remain loyal to what is eternal within you. There is a precision to life that few truly understand. It is not random. It is not chaotic. It is exact. The harvest must be identical to the seed. This is not poetry. It is law. Whatever you consistently plant in consciousness must eventually appear in form. There is no exception. If you plant doubt, you harvest delay. If you plant fear, you harvest obstacles. If you plant confidence, you harvest opportunity. If you plant fulfillment, you harvest manifestation. The outer world cannot give you something that does not first exist within you as a state. It cannot contradict the seed you have sown. It can only multiply it. Most people focus on the harvest while ignoring the seed. They analyze their circumstances, complain about outcomes, question timing, and compare results. But the wise understand that the harvest is never the place to argue. It is simply the evidence of what was planted. If you want a different harvest, you must plant a different seed. The seed is not action. It is not strategy. It is not effort. The seed is assumption. It is the inner conviction of who you are. It is the silent agreement you make with yourself about your identity. You may say you want abundance, but if you identify as someone who struggles, the seed is struggle. You may say you want love, but if you identify as someone who is unwanted, the seed is rejection. Words do not determine the harvest. Identity does. The law does not respond to what you occasionally affirm. It responds to what you consistently are. This is why self-concept is everything. Your concept of yourself is the soil in which all seeds grow. If you see yourself as worthy, capable, and chosen, the harvest must reflect worthiness, capability, and favor. If you see yourself as limited or unlucky, life has no option but to echo that belief. The harvest is never a surprise. It is a revelation. When something appears in your world, ask yourself honestly, what seed did I plant? Not to blame yourself, but to awaken your power. For if you planted it unknowingly, you can plant differently now. There is no need for guilt. There is only understanding. The beauty of this law is that it is impartial. It does not judge whether your seed is positive or negative. It simply reproduces it. This means you are always in control of the next harvest. Right now, you are planting. Every thought you dwell on, every assumption you accept, every identity you return to, you are sowing seeds in consciousness. If you persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are planting fulfillment. If you remain loyal to the new identity, you are planting transformation. And once planted deeply enough, the harvest is inevitable. Do not concern yourself with how it will happen. The seed does not know the mechanics of its growth. It simply contains the blueprint. In the same way, your assumption contains the pathway to its own fulfillment. The bridge of events will unfold naturally. Opportunities will arise. Conversations will happen. Circumstances will shift. But these are not separate miracles. They are the unfolding of the seed. Understand this deeply. You cannot plant an apple and harvest an orange. The result must match the origin. So if you desire a life of confidence, plant confidence now. If you desire security, plant security now. If you desire love, plant the identity of being loved now. Do not wait for the harvest to change before you change the seed. Change the seed first. The law is faithful. The law is exact. The law never fails. The harvest must be identical to the seed. Choose wisely what you plant within, because what you plant, you will surely reap. Now you see the truth. You were never trying to change the world. You were only meant to change yourself. The harvest has always been identical to the seed. Every result, every relationship, every success or delay has faithfully echoed who you assumed yourself to be. There is no force outside of you deciding your worth. There is no barrier greater than a state you refuse to release. The moment you accept that your imagination is the creative power, everything changes. You stop reacting. You start selecting. You stop hoping. You start assuming. You stop chasing. You start becoming. And when you become it within, life must respond. Do not wait for evidence. Evidence follows assumption. Do not wait for permission. You are the operant power. Tonight, choose the identity of the one who already has the wish fulfilled. Walk as that one. Think as that one. Feel as that one. And let the law do what it has always done. Reflect you. The harvest is certain. If this message awakens something within you, hold on to it. Do not let it become just another idea. Apply it. Live it. Test it. Your transformation begins the moment you decide to assume differently. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing higher awareness. And most importantly, thank you for choosing the version of yourself that refuses to remain small. If this resonated with you, make sure you stay connected. Because this journey is about mastering your inner world and watching your outer world rise to meet it. Your wish is not coming, it is becoming, and it begins now.